I was asked a question and it really did hit hard for me because the question was, how would I go about dissolving generational trauma? The reason why this hit so hard for me was because there are so many things that we do out of survival. And when we do things out of survival, we teach our bodies and our nervous systems that we are unsafe and that we need to do what we need to do to survive. And I really do feel like generational trauma is the result of generations trying to survive, especially after colonization. The reason why this is also hitting home for me is because I am someone who, like you, more than likely, is also tasked with trying their best to dissolve generational trauma. And one of the things that I noticed along my own journey is that me trying to understand how I carry it and also understanding that I can transmute it into something beautiful, into wisdom, so that I can give it to the world to promote and foster and encourage harmony, balance, love, compassion, and equilibrium. I noticed that it's about teaching myself that I can unlearn survival and welcome in thriving. And that's exactly what I feel like will help to dissolve generational trauma. I also feel truly that you have to understand first, you have to be aware of the fact that you yourself may be repeating those same cycles and patterns. Generational trauma, for one, looks differently depending on the family, depending on the dynamic, and depending on what they were going through. For example, generational trauma for me looks like silencing myself. It looks like me abandoning myself. It looked like me withdrawing, retreating, having that strong woman syndrome. These are all different types of generational trauma that I experienced because of what was passed down to me through my mother, right? Me needing my mother in certain ways and feeling as though I was not able to receive that. And reason being because, well, my mother, of course, wanted her mother in certain ways and things of that nature. I don't want to go too deeply into that because I don't want this video to turn into me talking about someone else's life story. But the reason why I'm saying that is because with generational trauma, these are things that are passed down for generations. And I feel like it's one of those things where we have to tell ourselves that, again, it's not about us trying to control anything through force. It's more so one of those things that we have to understand that it's okay that we ourselves are acknowledging that we are letting go. We have to first realize and even be aware that we're holding it, because oftentimes people are carrying things that they don't even know that they're carrying, right? They are just used to packing things on and suppressing things and hiding things for the sake of just moving on and getting over and suppressing. And then the next thing you know, you're living this unhappy life because you have so many things weighing you and anchoring you down to the pit of whatever it is you may be feeling. And I do feel that, and the image that I'm getting right now, because you guys know that I'm intuitive, the image that I'm getting is someone who's laying on the ground, and then there's all of these stones being stacked on top of them. And the stones, they're actually boulders, and these boulders are stacked on top of this person, and they're just breathing out, and like they can't even inhale, like they're just breathing out. And the thing is that they themselves are not able to breathe in, which means that they're not even safe enough to breathe in. They keep expelling, they keep giving the breath, they keep giving themselves to the point where they're running out of breath, and they feel that there's so much crushing weight that is on top of them to the point where they can't breathe. And each of these boulders is a representation of the things that you yourself carry, and or you yourself may carry, or people in your family may have carried. And the beautiful thing about this is the fact that if you're listening to this, chances are that it's ending with you. And with that ending does come grieving. With that ending does come release. With that ending does come you remembering who you were outside of the trauma. It's you returning to your origin. And if you're listening to this message right now, I want you to know that you don't have to try dissolving everything at once. You don't have to try dissolving it to make it look like it should be done in a certain way. You don't have to feel as though your life is about dissolving the trauma, because truly what you're really wanting to do is you're wanting to thrive. You're wanting to tell yourself that you are safe to be everything you needed to be. You are safe to be the embodiment of what the generations that came before you needed. And that's truly how you dissolve the generational trauma. It's really you embodying the wisdom and you becoming the embodiment of the love, the compassion, of the abundance that your ancestors needed. Because truly when you're dissolving it or transmuting it into something favorable, what you're doing is that you are telling your ancestors who live within you, who live within your blood, who are running through your veins right now as we sit here talking or conversing, or even we're sitting here in a space together, you're telling them that, hey, we're safe now. We no longer have to be this way. We no longer have to be hasty. We no longer have to be fiery in a way that is dominating to other people. We no longer have to make ourselves small so that we won't be seen enough because we don't want to be targets, right? We are now in a space where we are empowered to speak our truth. We're in a space where we can share the things that we love. We're in a space where we can create art and focus on art and be the embodiment of love and understanding. We're safe to do so because truly when you have generational trauma that you're getting through, you really understand and you start to realize that it's really about me getting outside of survival. It's me understanding that I don't have to survive anymore. It's me understanding that this matrix is really designed, these systems are designed to keep us in trauma, to keep us in bondage, because our bondage and us being in slavery creates just this utopia for them to live in and thrive on and feed off of. And so instead of me submitting to that, instead of allowing myself to repeat the pattern or to repeat the cycle, I'm choosing to do differently. But even with that comes trust. It comes surrender. What comes with that is courage. You have to know with conviction that you are not going to repeat the pattern. And the best way that you don't repeat that pattern is by forgiving yourself for not being what you needed, forgiving whoever else for not being who you felt that you needed them to be, forgiving yourself for even expecting it, and also understanding that you yourself have the right to experience whatever it may have been. Generational trauma for you may have looked like hiding the love that you have. Generational trauma for you may have looked like you abandoning people, or people abandoning you because they don't know how to deal with certain things. Generational trauma for you may have looked like you suppressing your feelings out of the fear of being misunderstood, or being told that you were too much, or being told that you're a woman, stay in your place, or being told that you're a man, so you need to go out and work and build me a house. Like, you know, being reduced down to nothing except for what people can use you for. Maybe that's what generational trauma means to you. Maybe that's what it looks like for you. And I also want to tell you that you don't have to repeat those stories to yourself. You can be whatever you feel that you are in alignment with. And if you're vibrating at that frequency truly, then you will be that thing and it will permeate. The world will feel it. The universe will respond to that. So if you tell yourself that you yourself are nothing, that you have to do this because people expect it of you, that you only have this because that's the amount that you're allowed to have, then that is exactly what you will have. But if you tell yourself that I am the embodiment of healing, I am the embodiment of love, and I am safe to love myself, I am safe within my body, I am safe within, and it's so interesting that I'm saying that because now what I'm hearing is that generational trauma for some of you looks like, I'm going to say it, so trigger warning, it looks like rape. It looks like having to suppress it. And I don't know why this is coming through, but it's like sexual misconduct. It's sexual trauma. And that's what it looks like for you. Every woman or every fifth woman in your family may have experienced some type of sexual trauma. Or you yourself, and it's not even about men or woman or male or female. It's like someone down the line may have experienced that. And so now your idea of sex is, oh, it's dirty, or I don't want it because I feel like every time I lay down with someone that they want something from me, that they're taking something from me, that I can't be myself, that I can't experience pleasure because sex for me looks like I have to give myself even when I don't want to. And so you tell yourself that, well, this is just simply what sex is like for me. But then that's a generational trauma that's repeating itself. And you have every right to be sovereign. You have every right to experience love and pleasure outside of the trauma. outside of whatever it is. And it's easier said than done. And if you are experiencing that, these are things that may be coming up for you right now. And the reason is because, for one, Scorpio, especially with the 8th house, does deal with the generations. It does deal with those deeply hidden layers that people do not talk about. It's a taboo that makes everybody uncomfortable. It's the very things that no one wants to talk about because they're too afraid of showing it or expressing it. It's keeping things secret because you don't want to embarrass yourself or embarrass somebody else, or someone may not want the world to see them that way because they may not be seen in the way that they want the world to perceive them in. And so I feel now, as that spirit is saying, is that I'm calling you to speak your truth no matter what it is, because you speaking your truth means that you're also speaking the truth of your ancestors. It also means that they have a voice, that you are the continuation of their stories, and it ends with you. And that is what I feel I would do to dissolve generational trauma. Again, I would not try to dissolve it per se. I would try my best to understand it based off of where I'm at in life. And I will also do my best to approach it with higher wisdom and allow myself to open up to different perspectives and different levels of understanding. I would call in my guides constantly whenever I need them. I would work my magic. I would work my ritual. I would burn dragon's blood. I would burn dragon's blood sage, right? I would burn sage. I would work with my oils. I would work with my candles. I would do the rituals necessary behind the scenes so that when I'm out there in the world, I'm not allowing myself to continuously be the embodiment of that generational trauma. I would baptize myself. I would sit in the bathtub. I would talk to my guides. I would invite them in. I would talk to the people that I need to talk to. I would do my best, even if it means that I have to do things a little bit at a time. I'm deciding that today I don't like pineapples on my pizza. That's my truth. I'm deciding today that I don't like pizza. In fact, I would rather have a vegan cheeseburger, right? Like, I would rather have a hamburger. I would rather have none of that. Like, you know, it could be the smallest thing. Today, I decide that I no longer want to wear black. I want to wear white. I decide that I no longer want to wear pants. I want to wear skirts. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Speak your truth a little bit every single day, because every time you do that, the word is activate. Every time you do that, you activate an ancestor who wishes that they had the tongue to speak their truth in that way, without having to quiet themselves so that they can survive. Every time you speak your truth, you allow yourself to open up and to activate another ancestor who may have felt like they wanted someone to love them as deeply as you want someone to love you. You allow yourself to open up the gateway for healing for yourself, for the people around you, for the people in the world, for the people a part of your community, right? Your global community, but even just as important, and maybe if not maybe more important, is your own lineage, because you are the embodiment of the very things that your lineage may not have been able to experience, maybe in a long time. So instead of you trying to necessarily dissolve it, understand that you can draw wisdom from that place. You can draw wisdom from the generational trauma. And you can shift the story, and you can tell the story in its entirety true, but you can shift the narrative into something more favorable, instead of clinging and hoarding on to all of these different things that are keeping you weighed down from experiencing your best in life. So if you're listening to this right now, I want you to know that you yourself are on a path of remembrance, and that you are returning to your origin. Your origin is who you are outside of the trauma. You put the pieces together and you understand things until we can see the constellation of your life, so that we can see the constellation of your ancestors' lives. Because truly, when we all heal from whatever traumas that we face, generational or even new things that we may have experienced outside of our generational trauma, every time we heal from that, we activate something else within this universe, and we can see it within you. Thank you for listening. I hope that this helped. I hope that this helps someone now. Please know that you are safe to be yourself. You are safe to be loved. You are safe to be explored. You are safe to explore. You are safe to share yourself in your depths, in your entirety. You are safe enough to receive intimacy. You are safe enough for you to receive that partner that loves you just as deeply as you love them. You are safe enough to receive anything and everything that you want and need in this life to help you thrive, because you are worth more than survival. You are no longer required to survive. You are in a space where you can thrive. And as long as you allow yourself to thrive, you will experience happiness, peace, love, abundance, and harmony. And I truly hope that this helps you return to your origin. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you later.